Recently had one of my clients tell me that interviewing people is my superpower. And so I thought to sit down and think about why that might be and interview myself. No, I'm just kidding. What I did is I got in front of this video and I'm going to ramble. If you are interviewing people, working with talent, getting people in front of a camera for any reason. A lot of times, especially if you're doing corporate videos like I do, these people are not trained to be in front of the camera and they're going to have a lot of anxiety about it. They're going to be nervous about it. Sometimes they have a teleprompter, sometimes they're getting unscripted questions. But for me, I think one thing I've learned over the years, I've worked with a lot of professional athletes, I've worked with a lot of CEOs, I've worked with people who are good in front of the camera and who are bad in front of the camera. And the biggest thing is treat them like they are just your friend, that they're anybody else, that you're just there for a hangout. They get this idea of like an interview. I'm being grilled. The lights are in my face. It's an interrogation. And what it really should feel like to them is a hangout, a fun time with a good friend that they've known for a while. And so, how do we get that feeling? Well, you start with fun little questions, throw them off, make them a little nervous, and then right away make them more comfortable. So, one of my favorite things to do is like while I'm setting up, I'll ask them how their day was going, just like a few questions to get them thinking. Oftentimes, I'll give them a few sample questions of what I might ask, even though the real magic comes from all the follow-up questions. But what I like to do is I say, all right, now here comes the hardest question. Are you ready? And they're like, okay, what's the hardest question? You go, name and title. And that every single time that cracks them up, they break a little bit. You can tell they immediately loosen up. And then you start with a few softball questions. What are we doing here today? How long have you been working here? And as they start to answer these questions, you get opportunities for follow-up questions. How have you seen the company grow over this time? How have you grown over this time? What are some of the new products you've come? Oh, how has that product helped your customers? And so you're actually sneaking them into the interview in the style of a conversation by just being a little patient. And I think that will make a huge difference. If you just sit down with some list and you say, tell me about your product. Do you like your product? You ask all these closed-ended questions. Of course, the interviews are going to feel terrible and awkward. They don't know what to say. So by starting slower, by hitting it with these introductory questions, and then using the follow-up questions to get involved, it becomes a conversation. And like they're explaining it to anyone else they would when there's no camera and all the equipment there. So hope that helps. Bye.